watched a million tutorials on snowy winter pine trees.
A million?
Or
Yeah,
evergreens,
right.
and finally something clicked. I'm going to show you what I learned by painting this winter landscape, but I'm also going to break down the basic shapes you need to know and a few other tips that I found helpful. Alright, so jumping into this painting, I started with a really bright, nothing fancy watercolor sky.
It looks dark.
For my trees, I'm actually using ink, but don't worry, ink and watercolor, they have a lot of the same properties, so if you are using watercolor, the basic idea remains the same. In fact, it was while I was watching a video by Just Arts by Brania that I had my aha moment, thank you to her, and she was using watercolor. And by the way, also sorry for my croaky voice, I am getting over a cold.
Ew, gross.
Okay, so if you're anything like me, the art side of my brain really latches onto shapes. So it helped me to break the trees up into clusters of odd-looking umbrella shapes in varied sizes.
What?
This is just the visual that I had in my mind. So on the actual painting, I did do a light pencil sketch of the trunk, you know, just like a line and some light branches, but I didn't actually draw these shapes.
That's ugly.
When I painted them, I used a super diluted mix of mostly water and a little bit of ink for the majority of these branches. I'm gonna link the ink
Oh, boy.
I use in the description box, by the way, because I love this ink. Check it out.
I'm not using your links.
But anyways, if you look at this initial color, you can barely see the pigment. It's mostly just wet.
Yeah, with dirty water.
Make sure that the umbrellas, when you're drawing them, that they're not really touching each other. You mostly want a dry border around each of them. They can touch just a little bit here and there. Also, you want to kind of place them in sort of a brick pattern. Okay, so after that, you grab your darker color and randomly touch the bottoms of those umbrellas. Don't make the mistake I did a few times where I outlined the whole thing. Just tap it here and there. So I suggest painting those sad umbrellas in sections. That's what the numbers are on the side of the diagram.
Clever
And
girl.
you might notice I painted the top of the tree at the very end. If while you're painting one of the sections does dry, just go ahead and re-wet it with very clean water. And that's it. Those are the basic steps I used. It's a really simple recipe to follow as you go along the shape of the tree. If you're finding this video helpful, please give this video a thumbs up so that this kitty gets extra deserved cuddles.
Probably not even her cat.
So one of the main reasons I was obsessed with painting these is because it reminds me so much of growing up in the Rockies. My family loved the ski hills,
Oh, thank you.
so passing by the trees like this on a bright bluebird sky day was just awesome. In fact, when I figured out how to paint these trees, I immediately tested it out with a couple little paintings. I can see where I have to work on making sure the dark parts don't spread out too much.
So can we.
But again, the main thing is don't outline the branches completely. I hope that's helpful. And remember too, nature is random. Speaking of random, my channel is filled with all different kinds of random art. So go ahead and have a browse if you like, and stay tuned because I have more things to share with you. Bye!
Wait, did she go? She just left us alone with her painting. All right.